Hey guys, on the road with David Rush, aka Team Widow's Peak, and we're on our way to meet up with our friend Ricky at a horse barn in Peoria, Illinois, where we're going to Airbnb. This entire state is a cornfield. Alright, this is the main room inside of the house. Kitchen over here, pretty much taken over to work on Highlander. Lots of horse paintings pretty much in general. This cool little chimney. And here's the stable. Hey guys, David Small here with Team Small Robots coming at you with another event report. This event report will be on CIRC Bot Battles 2018 in Peoria, Illinois. Now, CIRC only does ants and beetles, and since my beetle is illegal because of the flamethrower, the only robot I was able to bring was the Highlander, so this event report will only cover the Highlander's fights. Now, the Highlander had 11 fights in total, but a lot of them were pretty much the same. So Highlander's first fight of the day is against a flipper named Holy Joe. So right off the bat I come at him and I'm able to get a nice flip on him. He is then unable to flip himself back over or move. I then make the mistake of being nice and I flip him right back over, where immediately after I stop moving. Unfortunately, I completely lose control and I'm unable to move, so I get counted out in 10 seconds and Highlander loses its very first fight for being nice. So now the question is, what made my robot die without taking any hits and virtually no damage? Well, the answer to that would be the battery I was using. I make my own custom batteries out of tiny little cells. These are 80 milliamp hour cells that are extremely tiny. So I take 4 of them, wire them in series to create a 4S 80 milliamp hour battery. Now if you look closely at these cells, you'll see there's a little green chip inside each one of them, and what these chips do is basically limit the current. So if the current exceeds a certain threshold, they just shut off any voltage from the battery itself. And that's what happened. I drove around a little bit too much for the battery to like, and it decided to shut everything off. So the quick fix for this is just to swap to a battery that doesn't have these current limiting chips built into them, which would be most batteries. Unfortunately, that would make my robot more heavy. I don't know if you know this or could tell from the fight, but I'm using Gorilla Tape and duct tape for armor. A lot of my robot is just whole. So in order to save this weight, I had to peel off some of the layers of Gorilla Tape and duct tape just to make weight. So slowly but steadily, Highlander is winning fights and the battery issue is completely gone. Up next, I'm against a horizontal spinner named Juper. And as you may or may not know, the weapon that I have the most trouble with Highlander is always going up against horizontal spinners. So I tried to keep my distance the best I could, doing my best to only get flips when I knew it was safe. I got some pins here and there, I got some flips here and there. He did land one really big hit that completely bent the corner of my left wedge. And since there's only a few seconds left in the match and he had most of the damage points, I thought he had me. But
3, 2, 1! And at the last second, Highlander wins the match.
So after what may very well be the luckiest win of my entire life, Highlander moves on to the next round. Up next is my favorite fight, which would be against the Crave monster, the 2016 Bot Brawl champion and one of my favorite antweights. In the 3 years that the Crave monster has been competing, no one has ever had a flipper powerful enough to flip it. So I wanted to see what my pneumatic flipper could do to the Crave. Now the winner of this fight is guaranteed 3rd place. So here we go.
In 3, 2, 1, fight! Highlander's going to do his best to get around the side to keep away from that giant maw. Oh, he flipped him! That is the end of the Crave monster! 3, 2, 1, fight! Highlander's going to do his best to get around the side to keep away from that giant maw. Oh, he flipped him! That is the end of the Crave monster! 3, 2, 1, fight! Highlander's going to do his best to get around the side to keep away from that giant maw. Oh, he flipped him! That is the end of the Crave monster! 3, 2, 1, fight! Highlander's going to do his best to get around the side to keep away from that giant maw. Oh, he flipped him! That is the end of the Crave monster! 3, 2, 1, fight! Highlander's going to do his best to get around the side to keep away from that giant maw. Oh, he flipped him! That is the end of the Crave monster! 3, 2, 1, fight! Highlander's going to do his best to get around the side to keep away from that giant maw. Oh, he flipped him! That is the end of the Crave monster! 3, 2, 1, fight! Highlander's going to do his Well done, Highlander.
So after one flip, the Crave monster is defeated, and now the Highlander moves on to the finals against Kitty Cat, another horizontal spinner. This was an extremely rough fight. So just like the Trooper fight, I was doing my best to avoid the weapon and try to come around him from the back and the side where the weapon wouldn't hit me, but I was having a lot more trouble doing that. His weapon also seemed a lot more powerful. He landed a lot of big hits. The wedge that was already messed up from Trooper was messed up even more. He even bent up my arm a little bit so it wouldn't come down, or at least not very easily. There was one really big hit that he landed on me that actually flipped me over, but of course Highlander's able to self-right just by firing the arm. Then my left side started to fail because he penetrated the Gorilla Tape armor and damaged my back left motor, so I only had one motor working on that side, which made it a little difficult to drive. But that's okay because Highlander did what Highlander does. So with Kitty Cat in the pit, that is a victory for the Highlander, but since I am coming from the loser's bracket, that means I have to beat him twice. So I will have another fight with Kitty Cat after we both get a chance to fix up our robots. So the major damage points on Highlander was I had to replace the wheel in the back that Kitty Cat broke, and then also try to rebend that front wedge back into shape the best I could, and then I guess duct tape everything back in place and hope for the best. Now this fight was absolutely brutal. A lot of the screws on my wedge were sheared, and it was mostly just the duct tape holding basically the entire robot together. I'm completely terrified of his weapon. He keeps landing massive hit after massive hit, and you can see my wedge starts to get dented in. Then he lands another big hit, and the wedge is completely bent up and blocking the arm. The arm won't go down anymore, so I can't flip him anymore. And I'm just trying to do my best to wedge and shove the best that I can. I get a really lucky grab and hold him between the arm and my wedge and take him over to the wall where he embeds himself with his own weapon and gets stuck. I thought I had him, but then I forgot that CIRC has a one unstick rule, so they paused the match, they unstuck him, and then the match resumed. Then from here on out, it was just a matter of him dishing out blow after blow and then me doing my best to block said blows with my face. I did manage to reflect a few here and there, but definitely was not giving out as much damage as he was, but I am happy to say that I did go the full 2 minutes and the match went to a judge's decision. After a very long conference of the judges, after they discussed every aspect of the fight, damage obviously going to Kitty Cat, but also trying to decide where control and aggression should go, they decided on Kitty Cat as the victor. As would I probably, but this does mean that the Highlander gets second place, which I am totally fine with, as this is the best place I've ever gotten with Highlander, so I am super excited about that. And that concludes CIRC 2018. I had such an awesome time at CIRC, met some awesome people, so I'll definitely be back next year to compete, hopefully to grab that first place title, but we'll see next year. That will conclude this video. Please feel free to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my robotic adventures, and if you'd like a little bit more and often updates, please feel free to like my Facebook page, Team Small Robots. And with that, I will see you guys next time.